Hello and greetings. Hello, the listeners and viewers on YouTube and LinkedIn. Apologies, we started a bit late. Well, the tech hiccups happen. Oh, sorry. That was me. Continuously. What a way to start. But here we are, a few minutes late, and I'm here today representing the Startup Wise Guys team. My name is Zane. I'm head of brand, but today I'm going to be a host of a LinkedIn live stream. And we are like in wedding. We have gathered here today to talk about our newest program and a very, very special program to us. It's called Growth Ukraine. And it's actually one of the first programs we run for scale ups. So this is something also very, very special to our heart because we're doing it for a country that we have invested more than 40 startups from there. We have a lot of teammates from there, and generally we believe that Ukraine is an amazing place for tech talent. And of course, obviously, right now there is certain limitations how far the startups can grow, but on the other hand, it's amazing to see the resilience of founders who are facing war in their own country. They're fighting on the front line or they're outside of the country, and they can keep their business running. So we launched Growth Ukraine program together with partner with the European Bank of Reconstruction and Development, and also with Taiwan Business. I have to look in the paper for this. The EBRD Technical Cooperation Fund as a donor. So we have two partners here that are supporting us and supporting this initiative. We are very, very grateful because without them, it wouldn't be possible. And today we're joined by Dan Meshulam from EBRD, aka European Bank of Reconstruction and Development. Dan, amazing to have you here. And before we kick off the talking, about asking the questions to Mariia, who is the program, the managing director of the Growth Ukraine program, I wanted to give the floor to you. So feel free to unmute. And I wanted just to kind of, invite you to say hello to the people listening, and also maybe give us a few words of why this program, why do you see it important, and also about the other efforts that EBRD is doing in Ukraine or maybe the other regions. So the floor is yours.
Of course, thank you so much. So, hi everyone. Yes, sorry, my name is Dan, as you said. I'm from the EBRD. I'm in the Capital and Financial Markets Development team. So I don't want to take too much of the time because I'm sure you're going to talk about a lot of important things. I will just briefly kind of talk about the EBRD, although I think that a lot of the listeners, if you're from Ukraine, you probably know us already. We are a multilateral development institution. We've been working for over 30 years in, I think it's 37 or 38 countries, of course, including Ukraine. And we are focused on supporting economic growth and the transition to developed market economies in those countries, primarily through development of private sector. So a lot of this, and that's what we're mostly known for, is through investments, so for both banking loans, but also capital market issuances, participation in those issuances. But at the same time, which is what we are doing here, we're also working on supporting the enabling environment in those countries for private sector development. This can be with working with authorities or also working with companies in different ways. So Ukraine, of course, as I said, is one of our most active countries, especially after the war started last year. And we've committed a lot of support to Ukraine already in multiple ways. I think Ukraine is our largest institution. We are Ukraine's largest institutional investor. So that means deploying billions of euros to various sectors, including infrastructure, food security, trade flows, and, as I said, private sector development. So when it comes to this program, you've already sort of mentioned it, and you also sold it to us. There is a lot of potential in the Ukrainian tech and startup ecosystem, or it has been the case before the war. Of course, we see it as already even during the war materializing, and we, of course, want to support this potential. Not only because, of course, there are a lot of challenges that startups could be facing because of the war, but also because this is a key pillar for the post-war reconstruction or recovery effort of the Ukrainian economy. So we're very excited about doing this. Also, we're excited about doing this together with you, with Startup Wise Guys. We've already partnered on a couple of programs in the past. None of them were targeting specifically Ukraine, but they've already had very good results. And we are sure that we'll have similar results from this program as well. And lastly, you already mentioned our donors, Taiwan Business-EBRD Technical Cooperation Fund. They are a very key partner for us when it comes to working on innovation and supporting private sector and entrepreneurs all across the EBRD region. And of course, they've been working with us on previous programs in the past, and we're very happy for their support. And yeah, very excited to see this program, materializing, and happy to hear the rest of today's session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dan. Great to have you here. And one more time, thank you for the support. It's been a long time cooking, so we're also as excited as you are. And by the way, for those of you who are listening, we have actually started the first cohort of the program, but don't be scared because the second cohort is just to happen a bit later on, and the applications are still open. And this is why we're having this call. So I'm talking specifically to those of you who are still who are watching and thinking and wondering, are you eligible? Is there value? How intense the program is? You're in the right place. And I hope that after this panel finishes, we're going to have a few more applications from Ukrainian scale-ups or scale-ups that have at least one co-founder that is a Ukrainian national. Dan, thank you so much. I will probably ask my colleague to put you in the backstage. Thank you for joining us today, and we will continue our session with one and only Mariia. Mariia is here today sitting with two hats on. She's our head of business development, but she's bored with that position because when two hats when we started talking about Growth Ukraine program, and she was there actively participating in kind of scoping of how this could look like, being Ukrainian origin herself and being a great supporter already before joining Startup Wise Guys team of the Ukrainian ecosystem, especially women in tech. I guess it was just logical that you took the hat of being also managing director of the program. Mariia is super busy these days, but she's here today to answer the questions. So I have a few questions in mind myself, but I want to remind you who are listening us, please use the comments section. We will see your comments here in the studio, and we'll be able to address them in live stream. Mariia, great to have you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, well, just like you said, I could not take my hands off this one, right? Because I have been running programs in Startup Wise Guys previously, but this one particularly felt like a place where I can help the most and where I can create impact for my home country. I am Ukrainian, so I know not just from the media stories about what is happening in the market. And our mission is to support entrepreneurship. Our mission is to support already growing businesses that are coming out of Ukrainian market or are created by the Ukrainians and want to build their presence in Europe. I feel that this is the perfect combination because on the one hand, of course, it's an impact project, but on the other hand, we get to exercise what we're best at, right? So we get to work with startups. We get to sometimes praise them for doing the good job, many times whip them for doing the bad job, but we're in our own zone. So we have been working with the startups for 11 years now. We have 400 invested portfolio companies from all around the globe, and Ukraine takes a big part of that. It's 10%. I think in our portfolio, generally, it's the third largest portfolio, like if you filter it by nationality of the founders that are running the businesses. And I guess last message on why, and then I let you ask the questions and also moderate the chat questions or comment questions. There is a need for resilient businesses to be created in the country. And there are different types of them, of course. There are newer businesses that are being created. And from what we are seeing from the market, from what we have been viewing also with different investors from the market, many of them are created in the defense tech, military tech spheres. It's pretty obvious why. And we thought that our role should be to still support the more conventional businesses, so business as usual type of startups that are building their, I don't know, ed tech, marketing tech, sustainability tech, whatever it is. So in this in this program, we're not vertically specific, and we're working with businesses from all the sectors.
Thank you so much for the reminder as well. And well, let's jump in, right? So the first and very simple question is, who can apply to this program? So for whom is this program, and is there any specific criteria?
There are specific criteria, but you need to understand that this is a competition first type of program where we will be assessing what are the general volume of applications and who of the applicants are the most suitable for the program, and our support of these businesses running. So the minimum products that we're looking at should be either pre-seed or already seed stages with a minimum of 5K monthly recurring revenues in euros. And this is maybe for some of you it's a silly indicator, because for one business it would mean a lot, and for the other business it could be just the first months of your existing on the market. But for us, it's just one of the small steps for us to validate that you already have a running operational business that started generating revenues, and this means that you potentially are ready for the scale. So for me, when we're reviewing the applications, the main thing is, well, at least one of the founders has to be a Ukrainian national, just like you've mentioned. But also, plus to that, you have to be striving to scale. I'm constantly making this analogy that in our usual investment-based programs, we're working with 0 to 1. So you have built your product, and you maybe have had your very first small traction, and now you need to learn how to get there. So this program is working from 1 to 100. We want to help you build a resilient business structure behind your startup, so that you're ready for your takeoff to the markets.
Alrighty, so later stage startups, so not anymore 0 to 1, already MRR, and since the program is aimed for Ukrainian support, so at least one of the co-founders should be a Ukrainian, let's say, passport holder, right? Is the location important where the startup is?
No, we perfectly understand that the Ukrainians are right now everywhere, for good and for bad. I think for good, we're learning and we're getting all the experience from the outside markets on how to run businesses, which areas those businesses should be in. If you're running your business from outside of Ukraine, you're still eligible to apply and work with us.
Cool. And since I mentioned that we already have launched the first program, just information. So in total, Growth Ukraine program will support 12 scale-ups. And we have already selected 6 that have started the first cohort. It's the second week, right?
It's the third, actually.
Already. So Mariia, let the people who are listening to us know when the second cohort, so the last one, the second and the last, is starting, and also when is the application deadline. So for those who are still thoughtful, how much time do they have?
The most important thing, you have to apply before November 17, but disclaimer, the longer you wait, the less spots we have, because obviously we're working with all the applications that we are receiving. We're asking them to present their product demo. We're asking them to make expert interviews with different representatives of Startup Wise Guys, and not only. And this means that if you're applying, as startups love to do, at the very last minute, just know that you're in a larger competition, of course. It doesn't mean you don't have any chances, but you have to be really fast then to go through all the interviews. So when you're applying via Dloom platform. Please make sure you're reading the comments and correspondence with the Startup Wise Guys there, because we're pretty fast to answer. And I have to admit, not all of you are fast to respond to us.
Yeah, good disclaimer. So November 17th is the most important thing. And when is the program starting?
Oh yeah, sorry. We're starting on the November 27, but we're starting from, let's say, a soft week. So we're just onboarding you, showing you how everything works, and the big presentation that marks your launch is actually December 4. So this means that until 17th you're applying. We still have 10 more days to finalize all the applications that we have received and look through them and communicate with those who are eligible to flag them as the candidate. Then we're speaking to our partners, of course, within the program to finalize our decision. And we're getting back to you regarding your participation. Everything is online. So, at least on that front, you don't have to be worried. Like, you will need to block some times in your calendar, but it's pretty straightforward for you to start as soon as you know the decision.
And talking about the program, probably the next question apart from timing in the heads of a founder would be, okay, so what's in it for me, right? What does the program provide? What is the value? And I think you can also kind of add the question that everybody probably has on their mind, since we are an investor: is there money involved in this particular program?
Let's probably start from conditions because the program itself is, of course, a longer conversation, and I hope you have more questions there. As I told you, there are some conditions that you have to meet in order for you to qualify for the program. And then on the competitive landscape, you have to be chosen to become one of the 6 that are taking part in the program. The program does not assume investment and has no fee for the startup to participate. So this is thanks to our partners, the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development and Taiwan Business as a donor. They are supporting this program in order for you to have free access to it. You just have to win the competition with other applicants in order for you to be selected. And now, when it comes to the program itself, I guess I can start from a very high level. So this is a very high touch type of program, which means that we mostly work with you on a one-on-one basis. We do have some group activities planned for the batch, but I would say that they are more introductory to specific topics where, again, you will work one-on-one with different coaches. So we're looking at a program of 4 months, fully online. You will be matched with lead coaches. We call them that way. You can call them nanny coaches. You can call them mama and papa for the time of the program, whatever you prefer. But you will be matched with certain people that will be working on a specific business direction in your startup. This can be fundraising, sales, growth marketing. It can be company structure, operations, human relationships, and so on. So what we're doing is, when you're onboarded in that first soft week, we're doing diagnostics. So you're running a range of interviews in order for us to understand how good are you in certain aspects, or bad, hopefully not, in certain aspects of your business. So after those diagnostics, we are doing the prescription. Okay, so who are the exact doctors that you need to meet? So, for example, I'm the main coach in the program. You will work with me weekly, and I'm the main therapist, or the general practitioner who will understand what hurts, where you don't know how to approach a certain issue in your business, and I will assign you to specific lead coaches that will be working with you on that front. During those 4 months, you will be meeting them bi-weekly. And again, you are the owners of that relationship, which means that you can come with your own agenda and you can work on the specific issues that bother you in your business structure, in your business operations and running and scaling in the coming months. So we're pretty flexible there, and I think it's very well tailored to each startup in their case.
Awesome. I see that in comments, Nilanjay is saying that you're a grandmom, Mariia.
Oh, thank you. Is that because of the hair color?
But the hair color is crazy, purple blue, so that would be a very stylish grandmom. But great to see some people already commenting, and I wanted to just say that, so if you're a founder and you have a question on your mind and maybe we didn't touch upon it, then please use the comments, and we'll be very happy to bring the question here. But okay, so we talked already about how the program is structured. So definitely, I think this one-on-one help is something that is, like I say differently, that you get access to a lot of brains that otherwise you would have to pay, right? You have to pay each of those advisors, and you have top people in sales. I'm very happy to work with the teams on pitch training. I couldn't understand. Is it a tribute to flag that almost all of the 6 startups already in the cohort have blue slides, but I didn't see the yellow, so I don't know. But okay, I'm joking here. But yeah, I definitely would say that for those of you who are familiar with Startup Wise Guys, maybe general program, this is slightly different. So there is a little bit less of the group activity, and there's a lot of this one-on-one work. Yeah. The Linda is going on in link. So those of you who are in LinkedIn, read the comments. So there is already some fun going on. That's great. Fun is one of our 4 values. So it's
Yes,
working in
Nilanjay, we will talk later.
Yeah. One additional question for those of who are maybe we're talking about scale-ups, right? We're talking about companies that already have business operations and they actually have sales to do and customers to care for, and they might be like, yeah, but I'm not sure if I have the time. How intense is the program? What founder or founders should be aware of? Is it necessary for all of the founding team to participate or not? So give us a little bit of insight of how this day-to-day, week-to-week work happens.
Sure. It's a fair concern, but I want you to remember that we're investors and we're actually on your side. So we know you need you need to run your business, and you have your own things on the background. That's why we have it spread out all around the 4 months. That's why we're trying to tailor it so that we work not on very generic things like what's the hook in a pitch, and then you're going to a workshop and you're spending your time listening to first generic information, then maybe working on your own, right? So what I'm trying to build within this program is, of course, founder-centric approach. So you can actually manage most of the program content at your own pace, at your own schedule. If you're attentive enough and if you follow the instructions, it's actually a no-brainer. But of course, if you start missing here and there, the onboarding is the most important thing. So please bear with us for the first 2 weeks, then you'll understand how it all works. So in terms of the workload, I would say you need to expect that each week you would have 2, sometimes 4 meetings. But this means that some of them might be half an hour, some of them might be 1 hour, and you can schedule them way beforehand. So you would know your one-on-ones, almost in the very beginning of the program. And if you're smart enough in scheduling it diligently, then generally you just know weeks ahead what is happening in your calendar. Although there are 3 weeks where we would need you on our bigger commitment. So 2 of them are our own flagship sprint weeks. One is run by Cristobal Alonso, our CEO and El Patron. He's running the market engineering sprint, which is basically called to sharpen your market strategy in terms of what's your category, what's your competition, what's your unique value proposition, and kind of your data-driven research of the market that you can then use in your fundraising, in your conversations with investors. Trust me, it's hard to go through, so you need to dedicate the full week for it. Disclaimer, these weeks are in January, so you would also know way beforehand which week you need to block. But yeah, there I actually suggest that both or 3 or however many founders you are, you actually all participate because of how much value it can give you and because of how challenging it is. If you think you know your category and your market and you're dropping those loud names of competitors and saying how you tick all the boxes in your competitor slide, trust me, we'll come knocking your door and kind of challenging that just a little bit. The same thing comes with the product sprint. This is the Google methodology of the sprint weeks, but we're working on how do you come from a business hypothesis that you want to test towards a real done test in just 5 days. It, of course, requires your attention to it. And that one we're having in February. So again, you would know way ahead. And then from time to time, we drop some workshops. For example, our again flagship method, the Perform. If you don't know about it, then go check the book that was written by Cristobal and Stoyan, his co-author, about the Perform, the unsexy truths about startup success. So we're using a lot of it to run with you very fundamental things that you need to have in your business in order for you to succeed. What's company culture and why do you need it from day zero? What does it mean to be effective? How do you split the responsibilities? How do you make clear feedback and communication in your company? And generally, what does it mean to take care of yourself and to be a sustainable founder? So with those, it's, for example, 2 days of 3 hours workshops each of the days, and then a one-on-one with Stoyan to finalize and talk about it, right? So plus to it, another activity that we're doing is the mentor day, which is basically like one full day that you need to block in your calendar and go into one-on-one matchmaking with many different mentors that you will meet just once, and you can work on their specific area. So I will have a general business mentor day, I will have a corporate mentor day, and I will have an investor mentor day. So you can kind of work on different aspects of your business, try to validate your ideas with corporates, or try to speak to investors about your upcoming rounds. And yeah, again, I guess the first 2 weeks, of course, are difficult because it's all new and you need to book a lot of things to understand a lot of things. But then after that, I promise it's going to pace out and you will be able to manage it on your own.
Oof, I don't know how is the listeners. My head is already buzzing. And there's two thoughts. One is, gosh, I wish I had a startup co-founded by a Ukrainian because I would apply myself. It sounds amazing. But secondly, also, as you can hear, that majority of the weeks would mean very few hours, basically up to max four in meetings that you can schedule based on your own agenda. And there's only kind of like few scattered activities that you will know beforehand that would take more time.
You also had a question of the founding team and what's the dedication.
Yeah.
I would say that you need to delegate one founder who is responsible of going through the program, and I highlight it has to be a founder. You cannot assign an employee because we are working with the founders of the businesses. Your employees are welcome to join and learn and listen and participate, but a founder is the responsible first person and accountable person to go through the program. And then how many of you have to be there, totally up to you. I would say that for some topics you don't need all the founding team to be present. If we're talking about product, you send the related co-founder. If we're talking about sales and there's one person that is in charge of that, that's how you manage it. So we don't expect you all to be full-time available just for the program. We're reasonable and we hope you are the same.
Cool. And additional question on the kind of setup of things. Of course, in the nowadays after COVID, probably asking if things are on site or online is almost, and especially with a country that is at war, would be a weird question to ask. But I still wanted the audience to understand how is the where is the work happening with the mentors? How is the online on-site setup?
I wish we could be on site. I wish I could be in Kiev, having fun with all of you, wearing my unicorn onesie to some of the after parties. But we have to work with the setup we have. And in the current status of being at war, of course, we have to also be responsible and create the environment where you would be able to attend and not feel left out. So everything is online. Full 4 months of the program are online. Whenever you have your laptop or mobile device, you are in the program. Okay. We do have plans to run an on-site, but I am afraid it's a little bit too early for me to promise. We are assessing, let's say, the exact partners and location for us to run the on-site part. I can only say that it's going to be middle of April, so after both cohorts have finished their online. And then it would, of course, need some additional work in terms of understanding, okay, how can we make sure that there is a delegation allowance for the male founders from Ukraine and so on. So I will just say that we're planning to do something, and I will do whatever I can to make it official and proper and planned and with the right people and partners that you would be able to meet on site.
Yeah, so basically all of the program is happening online. One program, one cohort with 6 startups has already started. The next cohort applications are open till November 17. So if you're thinking, remember, first come, first serve, not exactly, but the later you apply, the bigger competition you're facing with the other startups. We must say that the first cohort is rather powerful, pretty cool startups, and we're coming out with the announcement which teams got selected, hopefully tomorrow. So stay tuned on our social media. You will find out. And basically, then overall in terms of the program, so things online, but there will be a touch point also on site in April 2024. And as we have seen also with our regular programs, on site is a very special thing because it's really nice to kind of put a human body to a face that you have been seeing in a flat screen for a very long time. So we hope we can make it great. I don't see much of comments coming in, but I do know that there's more than 100 of people watching. So thank you for tuning in. By the way, if any of you actually represents the investor side, then you should actually book your calendars because maybe it makes sense to travel to the event where we're going to be presenting the 12 startups that have gone through growth program. And as again, reminder, we're working here with scale-ups, so with teams that already have MRR and that are mostly focusing on growth within Europe. So that's kind of the goal of the program. Of course, there might be teams, and we know Ukrainians love to expand to US. So I mean, it's not forbidden, but the support. Correct me if I'm wrong, Maria, but the support is mostly kind of how to prepare the scaling and how to kind of get your muscles pumped for scaling in Europe, right?
The question about US is very simple. If you want to enter the US and it's 100% a part of your strategy and the next step, we're just not the right partner for you because we don't have the extensive footprint there. Of course, I can give you a couple of leads, lead coaches, or I don't know, mentors from our network that are in US or work with US or know how to start your journey there. So don't get me wrong, like it's not a completely banned topic for us, but you just have to be very honest with yourself and very honest in terms of what you're looking for. What's the biggest impact help you can get right now? And if you're looking at this program, it's going to be within European Union, very simply because this is our biggest area of expertise. Just the Startup Wise Guys team is 55 people, 20 nationalities, and we are all in Europe. One person is in Argentina, but he will get back very soon. So, it just gives you an understanding, and I don't want you to have false expectations about this. We are a European fund. We work with teams that want to grow here.
Thank you so much for this clarification. I think it's also okay not to be the right match, right? You need to find the investor or accelerator that you vibe with, that provides the right support, provides the right access to the network, and we can definitely kind of promise certain things about Europe, but we will not promise what we cannot provide in terms of other continents. Awesome. I am out of questions. So Maria, is there anything else that I haven't asked you and that you think is important to tell to our listeners?
Well, maybe one last doubt that I get asked on LinkedIn because people tag me, and thank you so much for our community for actually sharing about this program. This has been amazing that, different people have been participating in trying to look for the right matches. So thank you so much. So people ask, you have the requirement of minimum 5K MRR. What if I'm, let's say, way ahead of that? I have to say that in this first cohort, we have a couple of teams that are over 100,000 MRR. So it's not, it doesn't mean that we only work with that range of, I don't know, 5 to 15. No, we actually are looking for more mature teams, but I still want to leave the chance for earlier startups to try and apply. And if we see that you're keen for scaling and you're keen for running super fast from here on, we would consider you. So also don't get discouraged. Like, we have a variety. We have the 5, and then we have over 100.
Yeah, and if by any chance, if you're listening, you're like, damn, I don't make the 5K MRR. Remember that we do have regular applications. There's regular programs. We invest in various verticals. Our core vertical is B2B SaaS. The new program has just started. So right now, I think we have a waiting list on the website. But regardless, so we invest in B2B SaaS, in cybersecurity, in fintech, in XR, in sustainability, in PropTech, and in what did I miss? What did I miss? Web3.
Web3.
I got them all. See, so many that it's hard even for the head of brand to remember all. But basically, we are accepting applications usually primarily to a particular program. Right now, the most active campaign is for the new sustainability program that is launching in 2024. But even if you don't fit in the particular vertical of sustainability, I do encourage you to go to our website, click on the button All Programs, and you will actually see a variety of things that are happening right now, and it will have a very, very clear indication, apart from Growth Ukraine, which other programs are open or with waiting lists. And if you apply via DLM and we see you're maybe in terms of traction not fit for the Growth Ukraine program, don't worry, we do communicate with each other. So actually, if we see a good team that maybe is not fit for one program, we always offer that team investment and participation in another program. So I just really encourage you to kind of keep an eye on us, check the website, click the apply or the all programs button, go through the list that you see there. So if not this program, then we have a variety of things that we can help you with.
And since we're talking to hopefully Ukrainian audience here as well, we are investing in Ukraine. Even if you have male co-founders and you're sitting in Ukraine, we do not see it as any obstacle. Since the beginning of the full-scale invasion, we have made 9 investments already, and we will keep doing that. So don't double think or don't doubt it, just apply.
On that note, I think we can conclude this live stream. Sorry for the technical hiccup. I'm still happy that you found our live. Somehow our streaming tool did not communicate well with LinkedIn, but we went live. Thank you for those of you who were listening. Thank you, especially Nilan J, who was commenting. He's a great member of our community and always there for us. And yeah, November 17th, deadline of the applications to the Growth Ukraine program. Here with you today, Mariia Tintul, the Managing Director of the Growth Ukraine program and Head of Business Development, and me, Zana, Head of Brand and the one who manages the marketing department. It was lovely to be here, and have a good afternoon.
Дякую, подавайтеся.